Hi, everyone. It's Susan. You know, the thing starts spinning before we actually go live here. So welcome to another one of my YouTube live discussions with you. Oh, and Nika wanted to say hello too, by the way. So I have no furniture in my living room and I'm trying to find nice images for you guys. There's nothing in here. So I thought maybe a little bit of the garden is good. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of me decoding for you what is bad behavior. Now, the conversation we're going to have today is about gray rocking. That is a term developed by a psychologist that technically means when a person is trying to be as boring as possible. Boring, boring, boring. It's like playing dead mouse, that the cat was trying to bat at you so you pretend you're dead so they'll go away. And there are several usages of this concept, and I want to make a clear distinction because somebody did write me on the community page. So let me start firstly with the definition, then I'll jump into the hey, where are you from, and how are you doing? And understand, all of you, you can always send me through Super Chat. If I will definitely see what's going on here, and I will call out your question. We spend the first 15 or 20 minutes talking about the real issue at hand, the gray rocking, all the different applications of it, and then we go into an open AMA, okay? So gray rocking. Gray rocking is a defensive move. Now, you know this. You've probably done this to people. When we don't want somebody sniffing around us, we automatically gray rock them. Bea Ray said the same thing. It's instinctive. What are you doing today? Oh, not much. Yeah, so you want blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm just at home. Yeah, nothing. Uh-huh. Yeah. One time I told a guy I was at the Costco at Secaucus. I was hoping that would just, eliminate all the interest whatsoever. So it is also a technique that people use to defend themselves from their narcissist. So it is a technique to be so uninteresting, to not play. So there's no game involved. When there's game, people get excited and they want to bat you around like the cat with the mouse. Gray rocking is a technique where you pull back and you try to make yourself as boring and uninteresting as possible. Okay, so you understand the two usages. Now, when I refer to gray rocking in terms of a dating game, I see it as the prelude to the slow fade. They start the slow fade by excluding you from personal information. Hey, everyone, I got to stop here. Hi from Reno. Hi from India. Hi, Stephanie Elliott, the soprano. Oh, my God, a phenomenal opera singer. Oh, my goodness. I am so lucky to have some of the greatest clients and people here on this channel and on Magnifi. Hi, Rebecca. Sunny Midlands, Birmingham, San Francisco. Hi, Nina. Ali G. Hi, Soto. Alex, how are you doing? Midlands, UK. Ivana, Lion. Hey. Jope, hi, how are you doing? Ari. Niv from Germany. Gary, how are you doing? Klaus Mickelson, wonderful. As you write, are there areas we keep ourselves in communication with our partner? I mean, is there some self-responsibility in this phenomenon if we ourselves are afraid to open up? Okay, so here's a clear distinction. Gray rocking is a defensive move. As I said before, you may have noticed you've done it automatically. Somebody wants to know information about you. They're a busybody in your neighborhood. You just don't want to give them information. Very generic, very boring. You put them off the scent. Some of you have written to me and explained that your partner has mental illness and that you feel that they're keeping you out. Be very clear. There's a difference between having mental illness and purposefully shutting somebody out. Okay, so I am not their therapist, and I'm not having a detailed discussion with you so that I can accurately give you the information that you need. I'm incapable of doing it in this format, okay? We are talking about the purposeful intention of deflection. And again, you'll notice it's instinctive. But what does it mean when a partner does it to you? They're fading. They're trying to throw you off the scent. What can you do about it? You need to tell them that you feel as though they're keeping you out of their lives. They're no longer sharing with you, and that's hurtful because that's normally key to a slow fade, which is the key to I'm tiptoeing away. You don't see it, right? I'm just leaving. Then one day, poof, I'm going to be gone. I'm preparing you for the fall, okay? So this distancing move can indeed be a dating game, and it's done purposefully. There are people who are slow to open up. And I realize what we are talking about is we are dissecting really small segments of a variation here. What I'm talking about, clearly gray rocking, which I learned from a client, I'd never heard this before. He'd said to me, yeah, we've been dating for a couple months and he started gray rocking me. And I said, whoa, what is that? He said, yeah, he started giving me boring, perfunctory answers. Okay, well, perfunctory is my word, but boring answers. It's just that is a technique that people do when they want to start to walk away from the relationship. So I want to be very, very clear. There's also withholding. But I'm going to tell you why this is so harmful to us and why we register internally that something has created a shift. Because now, ladies, and especially as a female, I'm talking about this, but sharing, being open with another person is the thing that invites us in. And women, especially, I know, we judge our level of closeness to another person by how much intimate information they share with us. We feel close to people who show us who they are. I remember, and I think I've told you guys this story about, because it was so marked, the difference. We had this girl in my gym, and I go to Crunch, or it was Gold's Gym. It's on 54th Street between Broadway and 8th Avenue. Great little gym. And it's kind of like, it's like a crazy family. We got the weird uncle, and you've got the cool sister, and but it started very small and it just kept growing, right? And we had a girl come in and she had this fabulous body, but she had an attitude and she was horrible. She's looking down on people and holding her nose up in the air. Everyone hated her, uniquely hated her. The guys wanted her, the women hated her, the men wanted her and hated her. And she one day walks in to the ladies' locker room and it's packed. And she's like, he left me, he dumped me. Oh my God. Every woman that hated her ran to her side. Oh, he doesn't deserve you. What happened? Suddenly they were nurturing her because this woman who'd been so disagreeable suddenly cracked open and showed this vulnerable side of herself. And I think she made some friends that day. We all felt differently about her from that time on. And I know this is very true with women, but when you let people in, they feel a connection to you. So when you are dating somebody who's let you in, then suddenly they start to close down again. This is obviously disturbing, right? Okay, now let me talk to you because you are here. Klaus, I hope that answered, there's a difference. Hi, Joe. Okay, so what about when you're interested in someone, but they are trying to gray rock you to make you lose interest? How do you spot it? You spot it because you know the difference. Okay, so there are people who are truly busy. There are people who like you. There are people who like you and they have issues. There are people who like you, they have issues, they're guarded, they're mistrustful. This is a level of continually not responding in a way that is, how do I say it? They've been polite, you sent a text message, yeah, they don't give you anything. It's the opposite of what I say is volley. You guys have heard me talk about volley. It's the opposite. It's a very clear sign. Now, you have a couple of options depending upon how straightforward and how courageous you want to be. Not vulnerable, clear distinction, courageous. So one of your options is to say, hey, kind of feels like you're gray rocking me. I am interested in getting to know you. I can only assume from your answers that it's not the same for you. Unless I hear from you otherwise, it's been pleasant chatting, or it's been nice to meet you. I'm sorry it didn't go our way. However you want to do your graceful exit, or not. You can be snippy with them if you've actually been in a relationship and now they're pulling this on you. So I just want you to know what it is. It is those non-answer answers where you can't go anywhere. They're just trying to close the path to closeness, okay? Hi, let's see. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to try and look for gray rocking stuff. I want to talk about your general questions later on. I will do this just because I came up to it from Julian Allen. Again, general questions, please do it later on in the show. Okay, hi, Susan. Got ghosted a few months ago. Conversation was going fine, but he started replying days later, Called him out for not informing me about being busy for our first video call, never replied. Okay, keep moving. That one's simple. That one's simple. You know, I know it's so weird. How can they be so interested and then they're not? But they're not. Do we need to belabor the thousands of reasons why? I mean, I hate the fact that I have to have a 20-segment show on bad behavior. I hate it. I'm not trying to disappoint people. I'm trying to educate you so that when you see it, you go, I could sit here and analyze this. I could read. I could go down the rabbit hole of 900 videos only to discover the same thing. They're not responding. They're not responding. Next, next, next. You don't want to play with people that don't have a skill set to play with you or that aren't interested in you, sufficiently interested. We don't know what they've got going on in their private life. Colin Mills. Hello, Susan from Manchester, England. Thanks for all your wonderful advice. You are fantastic. Hearts to you too. Thank you very much. Do you nurture a gray rocker? Joe Sandstrom. Interesting question. Depends on where you are in your relationship to them. Depends on how much patience you have and how much you think they are worth it. They're defensive. They're keeping you out. Do you know why? Is it worth it? If it is a break in the pattern, yes, you have to address it. If you have an existing relationship with somebody and they start pulling away, you have to say, hey, what happened? What's going on here? You know, people especially in the beginning of relationships, get so freaked out about, we are so reactive to the fear that, oh my gosh, they're dumping me, or oh my gosh, they took 4 hours to respond, so I guess they're not interested anymore. And we're so afraid of being thrown away that we will often start to pull back ourselves. So you don't know initially if you're just seeing somebody, you've just slept with them, you've had a couple interactions, it went well, and suddenly they get kind of cold. Initially, it is hard to tell. It is hard to tell because you've just had one hint of it. At which point you may say, you know, our conversations have been very open. I've really enjoyed it. Is there anything wrong or something you need to tell me? Hey, HUF, how you doing? I know who you are. I know who you are. You're my wonderful client from Hungary. Thank you so, so much. 2,000. I love this. Thank you, you guys, for the super chat. That is awesome. Okay, so we're going to try and stay on gray rocking for a little bit of time. Let's see. Alex, I love the fact you guys, you know what you're doing. You talk to each other. If I don't see you, you guys can help each other. I have to pass this hoovering thing because I do not fully understand what hoovering is. So I'm going to have to come back to that at another time. Thomas Sally, how are you doing? Hi. So it is intentional? Mostly, yes. Instinctive. May not be conscious, but it is instinctive. It can be purposeful when you know you don't like somebody and you're just trying to be as boring as possible. That's instinctive to all of us. And don't think, oh, I never gray rock. I don't do that. Of course you do. You don't tell that busybody neighbor. Somebody's trying to get way too much information. All you want to do is check out at the grocery store. You don't need to tell them all this stuff. You don't want to start a conversation. So it's a polite exit. But somebody that you've been involved with, this is what I call a break in the pattern. So Thomas Sally, let's go. So it's intentional. Could it mean different reasons though? Absolutely. This is why we need clarification. Maybe they are not losing interest, just protecting themselves. Sometimes, yes. But oftentimes when they protect themselves, they do greater distancing, not just answering you. They actually leave the equation. Correct, Nika? Is that right? Okay. Afraid they're not trustful, misidentifying narc behavior. Oh, wait a minute. Just protecting themselves. Afraid. This is a little too complicated for me. I have to talk to you privately because that second thing about narc behavior. Remember, this is a technique that many people, their therapists have told them to use to disengage a narc's attraction to them. So I'm walking a very thin line here, trying to dissect what is self-protection, but I know you personally, so if it's happening to you, you are not a narcissist. So I'm going to have to come back to this privately with you. Okay. SM, hi, how are you doing? 699. Thank you so much, my dear. I was in a relationship for 8 months with someone who had difficulty being emotionally available. I tried to with numerous conversations, but no success. Good for you. Don't feel badly. You did everything you know how to do. Again, I'm reading 2 sentences. This is the best I can do with what I've got. If I had you here personally, I'd be digging apart all sorts of things. Sometimes our partner, they think they can do it and they can't. So much of the dating game that hurts us nowadays is the fact that people leap in and they think they can do it. They want to do it. I don't know, the night they were online, they had a glass of wine and you looked interesting and they started to chat you up and then they dissipate. That's why what we're looking for if you want a committed relationship is we are looking for consistency. And not only are we looking for consistency in approach and continuing to approach and to build the relationship, we're also looking for consistency to hold hands and walk through the difficult stuff together. Because that's what a relationship is. We don't like this. Hey, I'm really embarrassed. I'm feeling insecure here. It's not a good look for me, but you're not responding. And it has to make me wonder, is there something I need to know here? I would rather you tell me the truth. You're not bad or wrong. You're not going to upset me, but please do me the honor of just not lying or hiding something valuable, vital. Relationships require vital information sharing, or you're just guessing. And you have every right to ask for that kind of information. Nika, can you come here? She's somewhat protecting the house, but I'm not sure from what. Hi, everyone. Let's see, what else do we have here? Jenny A. Hi, I just joined Susan. How are you? Can you please tell me what gray rocking is? Gray rocking is a defensive move that people do. Okay, great. I've got to get to Mara 0289. It's a defensive move that people do to shake off the other person's interest or to create distance. Okay, Mara 0289. Thank you so much. $20 US. My God, you guys are so great to me. This absolutely happened to me. Super open and communicating out of nowhere, delayed and simple responses. Then when I ended it, they freaked out. What they failed to realize is, yes, I wanted them, but I didn't need them. Okay, I love this. But did you notice do you think that there was an honest miscommunication here? It's so hard, Mar 0289. Sometimes people are they're so gaming us that nobody's talking honestly. It's so frustrating that we can't see what's going on. This is why if you ever err in the beginning of a relationship, I urge you to err. You're going to hate me for saying this, but just throw your ego over the bridge and err to the fact that maybe they think you don't like them. And just say, hey, I like you. I'm trying to make this work. Not getting solid answers here and you're distancing. And then the one exit you can do is, I have to assume that you're not interested. And if so, then let it be. It's all good. And you walk away and you do not respond to them. At that point, they got to come back and say, oh, no, my God, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I want to do it. I'm just busy at work. I was scared you didn't like me. But guys, don't be afraid to talk. I beg you. Do not be afraid to talk. There is no relationship you can build if the two of you aren't talking, because believe me, there are a lot of pitfalls in between everything. Darren Brown, $10. Thank you, my man. Okay. She was in love and I wasn't ready. Okay. 7 years later, she separated in January and signed papers 2 weeks ago. I think you mean to divorce. Okay. We dated a month. She got distance and I told her to focus on her, get help, and call me after a year. Right move? I wouldn't say a year. If she separated in January, signed the papers 2 weeks ago. She got distance. A year's a long time. This is a judgment call on your part. I'm not going to give you information on how and when to date somebody who is in the process of divorcing and separating. I know far too many cases and I deal with far too many people that make their own judgment calls. Some people don't want to be the first one to date them after the divorce. Some people do not want to date at all while a person is separating. Some people will only date you after you're completely divorced. This is up to you. It is your level of comfort. A year is a big pushback. You're never on solid ground because this person has processing to do. But if you truly care for them and you like them and they started to distance, you create the rules. I like you. I'd like to see you. I want you to have a clear head. I'm not going to wait forever. I'm not going to wait a year while you get yourself together. But if you think you can consistently move forward and at least explore this, I'd be willing to do that. But if you have hesitation and you pull back, which I understand you're okay to do that, I'm just not taking that part of the ride with you. That's how I think I'd handle it. Okay. Ian, thank you so much. I'm missing some of these. Thank you. 5 pounds. Thank you so much, Ian Sharp. If I have missed your super chat because I've been rifling through here and I missed anything that you said, I will address it when this goes live in caps, because sometimes these come in as I'm closing down. I will make sure that I get back to you. Okay. We just did this. Okay. We did this. Ian. Okay. Anybody else here? Okay. Positive comment, guys. So when you're texting and they just drop off, do you just ignore them back? This is a judgment call. Guys, everybody's got a different feeling about this. It depends on what it does to you. And I'm sorry, I wish I could be so concrete. I can give you one rule. One rule. It's a Susie rule. Okay. You measure every move you make by how you feel, not just when you make it, how you're going to feel after you make it. So I try, and I personally, my philosophy is, I don't have a problem being honest and straightforward. I don't have that problem. I have trained myself out of being shy and falling back. I've trained myself out of traditional girls stay back, don't say anything, let him do. Because I personally just need clarity. I need resolution and clarity. I've got a big life. I got to move on. It's really simple. You're interested. You're not interested. Let's make it that easy. Let's make it that easy. Yes or no. That's it. That's it. Just yes or no. Interested, in or out. Very, very basic. So I don't like to leave things personally unresolved. That makes me crazy. I don't like to exit a comment like they just die down and then it's just like I didn't have my say about it. So I personally like to come back and say, gee, I've noticed this and that. It was nice knowing you. If I'm wrong in my assessment, please let me know. Otherwise, I wish you well. I get to say goodbye. I get to call it. I get to end it. It's my narrative. That's what I like. $20. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness, you guys. So you see, when we contact people, and people will say this even about the ex, when we contact people, we have to figure out, you get a text from your ex 6 months after the breakup, and it's like, whoa, I miss you. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? What are you doing here? It depends on how opening that door will affect you ultimately. Could it feel good in the moment and then you're going to suffer later? So we always try and think, how's it going to make you feel? Okay, $5. Again, you are so lovely. Additionally, I'm a big proponent of no response is a response. Yes, it is, especially when you try more than once. Absolutely, absolutely. So we do not keep throwing ourselves at somebody. Don't assume they had a text message meltdown. Oh, I lost my phone. Oh, I didn't get it. There are cases, but they're very rare. Well, you'll get a glut of messages coming in, but that's like you could use that 10, 15, 20 years ago. You can't say that today. So no, you try a couple times, they don't bite back. I personally just like to call it though. I do, because maybe that's ego. Yeah, I guess so. Maybe it's a little ego. I'm like, yeah, okay. Because I like an ending. I don't like it to be uncomfortable. I like an ending. But yeah, that's what's comfortable for me. So what we're trying to find out is, given the information that you have, looking at this, being able to decode what's going on, how do you feel most comfortable moving forward? What's your go-to? Okay, let's see. Closure. Amanda Cornell says, closure is so important. Ask where they have been and then move on if no answer. You ignore them and then date me. Joe Sandstrom is good. I love the fact that you guys are talking to each other. This is really wonderful. Now we're at the point in the conversation. I'll open it up, super chat, for anybody that has a question on any other topic in love, dating, romance. This is where you get to have your time, because it's my understanding when I do a live that I'm supposed to be interacting and that I'm supposed to be here for you and answering your questions. I like to always give it some kind of sense of cohesion by filtering it through one topic. And I also want to ask you guys, we have a lot of bad behavior going on here. So if when I'm done with this cycle of answering this, I'd really like to know, in these live events, which I like doing and I'd like to continue doing them, what do you want me to talk about? We've had a theme, which is good. Are there other themes you want to talk about? If so, you can write the media department. These will filter through to us, okay? media@susanwinter.net. Let's see, what do we have here? Okay. Jesse Stafford says, my ex was talking to me and I asked why she had ignored my texts. I was okay with the breakup, even though, hang on, I made it clear my intention. She said she never received them, even though they were delivered. So Jesse, she backpedaled on breaking up with you? That warrants another discussion? I don't know. It depends on if she's worth another shot. You know, sometimes people just don't want to admit, hey, Reham, you're from Dubai. Never been there. I meant to go. My ex was in Abu Dhabi for a number of years. He left the US, went there, and now he's back here. So let's see. Okay, Jason, you know what? We are going to report you and block you. Okay. Let's see what else here. Bentley, I say I was just having a busy life, an excuse. Okay, Bentley, if that works for you, okay, that's fine. So, yeah, I'm sure some of you have gray rocked. I do it instinctively. I know we all do. But any other questions that you have that you'd like me to answer here? Let's see. So this thing about we're all busy, you know, I think I've told you this story about, there was a guy that I was trying to, I told him from the minute I met him, I said, we're not a couple, I'm not going in this direction. And he kept after me and after me and after me. And I took the phone calls. I didn't want to hang up on him. I had mutual events where he brought his group and I brought my group. And I was very, very social at that time in New York. And there were these fabulous French Tuesday parties. And so I'd invite a lot of people. And I would just take forever to get back to him because I really wanted, you know, and I guess I wasn't as clear. This was early on. I wasn't really doing this work. And so he said, you know, I said, I've been busy. He said, Susan, we're all busy. And I said, I told you so many times, and I don't want to be mean to you, but you just don't. You please, I can be a friend. Do not pursue me in any other way. Ian Sharp, okay, thanks for the Magnifi call yesterday. Oh, that's Ian. Oh, now I know who you are. Yeah, baby. We're thinking 007 here. Okay, yes, Ian. Okay, fabulous. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. It's so great. You know, sometimes I don't know your screen names. And oftentimes, even on Magnifi, you've got a different screen name. So sometimes when I talk to you, I don't put two and two together. Thank you very much. So let me see. Is there? Oh, I know something I want to talk about. I'm still answering any questions that you have here. Okay. Preeti Gopal. Hi, Susan. How do we correct ourselves and have good self-esteem if we had exhibited bad behavior in our last relationship? Oh, fabulous question. Well, we review ourselves and our participation. I think that's great. Many times all we do is look at what happened with our partner, and I don't like this, and they didn't do this. And we have to also look at how we handle those situations. And have we, in the meantime, developed new skills that would enable us to take different options, different approaches? If it's somebody that you feel you've done poorly with and you'd like to make amends, if you think you really did something wrong, you may want to state that to an ex. I have just realized I did this thing. I did not know I'd do it. And you may also want to be very, very clear. I'm contacting you not to confuse you, not to start something up again, but I just needed to apologize for this. I didn't know. And then you take it forward and you make those corrections and you make sure that in the future you can do that. Okay, you can be the better person that you want to be. Bianca, hello. Thank you. $6.99. Many, many thanks. Please talk about shy men, also never been in a serious relationship, and the lady having to take the lead without frightening them. So I just had a couple guys on Magnifi the other day, young men that didn't know how to take the lead. And if you are a millennial, most men have not learned how to do this or been talked out of it by other dating coaches that have taught them to make the woman pursue. I think the most elegant and straightforward way is to just be as simple in your language as possible so there can be no misinterpretation. Bianca, I would say to them, I like you. I'd really like to see you. I would like to explore where this can go. Does that sound like it would be of interest to you as well? The guy goes, yeah. You say, good. How should we proceed? Would you like to have coffee with me on Saturday? I make a fierce frittata or whatever. Do you want to come over Sunday afternoon and we'll sit down and watch a movie or go for a walk or whatever, depending on where you are. This is being shot during COVID, okay? So sometimes you have to show them, but oftentimes it's the good shy guys that are really nice and they really don't want to mess up and they've got a lot on the line and they don't have that, Rico Suave groove and they don't have a lot of experience. So, I think they're really overlooked and some wonderful men here that could really benefit from a woman taking the lead. And if you have to, just talk to them. I like this, I like this, I like this. I'd like to experience this. I like to do this on a date. What about you? Okay, I hope that helps you. Okay, we've got a lot of comments here. Okay, Jenny A, how do we deal with first, second date with a guy, who is inevitably suffocating with too many intrusive questions? Is there a nice way to tell them to back off? Jenny A, do you like this person well enough to have to tell them? Otherwise, if they are too intrusive and you don't like them, you just say, I'm sorry, I don't think this is a match for me. I'm going in another direction, or I'm currently seeing somebody right now. I had a person ask me every question and I deflected with telling them really weird things. Like the guy kept bothering me with, what do you think the greatest invention is of the 20th century? And I said, oh God, Lycra. Oh, I can get into whatever I'm wearing every day of the year, no matter what I look like, bigger, smaller. I love Lycra. He's like, you don't think it's the internet? And I said, no, for me, it's Lycra. Because I was just trying to play with him, So handle it according to how much you are interested in him. I hope that helps. Let's see. Where do we have here? Joe. Okay, Joe, you're responding to somebody else. You're talking to somebody else. Okay. Oompa Loompa 2019. Wait, hang on. Oompa Loompa. I was dating this girl for 4 months. She pulled back, texted less. We talked Friday. She doesn't know what she wants. We haven't talked since Sunday. Wait for her to reach out. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Put on your track shoes and run as fast as you can in the opposite direction. Am I right, everyone? You don't wait. They don't know what they want. If they don't know what they want, this is a basic. Well, and it's not your fault. You date too many people like this. You hear this. You have to go garbage bin, garbage bin, garbage bin. I don't mean that they're garbage. Just I don't want. If somebody doesn't know what they want, they're a waste of time. Do you know how hard it is to get from? It's like somebody who's a window shopper and they're not a buyer. You can't talk them into it. They don't know. I'll know it when I see it. Maybe I want it. Maybe next year. Maybe I don't want it. No. Track shoes on. Go to the next one. It's really effective dating when you date somebody who wants to explore the possibility of a relationship. And if they want to do it with you, bingo, you've got a match. Now you move forward, okay? Don't give time and effort to people that don't even know what they want. It's a nightmare. Everyone, don't even do it. Okay, Stephanie Elliott, you sweet, lovely thing. 10.99 euros. My goodness, thank you so much. Okay, Stephanie says, Swedish lady wanted a retry. Oh, yeah, I know. I said maybe coffee. COVID makes it impossible. Now in friend zone sucks. I need to stop this. Yes, you do. I know this case. How to do it politely. Will it be different this time? It still gets me, baby. There's no different ending to this story. So there are times in our lives that we need to activate mental self-discipline because our hopefulness and our desire to change a story and a narrative are so great. Now, I know this story, so I'm talking directly to you, my dear. This person doesn't know what they want when they've got you right in their home. Now they don't have you. I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling bored. Oh, that was fun. Let me get them back. She still doesn't know what she wants. If they don't know what they're looking at the first time, I really doubt they're going to know this is the second, third, or fourth time. This is not a pattern we need to repeat. This is what I call practicing failure. This is the perfect recipe for ongoing self-doubt and low self-esteem. You are beautiful inside and out. Your voice is glorious. You do not need to be throwing your pearls at swine, okay? This is just, you're not going to get what you want here. You're just not. And the fact that you think there's something there to get, that's what I'm trying to get at. Guys, you got to unlock it. Okay, perfect segue for me. I want to remind all of you that tomorrow, which is Friday for most of us in the world, tomorrow from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., I'm doing a 2-hour masterclass online, Zoom, interactive, with Addicted to Success, all about breakup triage, the cure for heartache and obsession. I am taking you through my 7 steps. You might have listened to the audio booklet. You may have heard me talk about this before, but I'm going to actually walk you through disentangling that person's hold over you. You think you did it, and then you realize you didn't. Or you did it kind of, or enough to get away, but they still have that power to pull you back in. And we want to get rid of that once and for all. And that's a matter, the mental assessment of that person is the key to unlocking your emotional obsession and mental obsession. So I have information about that, and you have to sign up from the link, and it'll say, so if you go back and, well, let me see, it's a little hard to explain, but if you look up Breakup Triage, the Cure for Heartache and Obsession, you will see a video dedicated to that with information and the link. And if you're really confused and don't understand, I will add it again to the bottom of this commentary when this one goes live. Okay, Stephanie, you got that? Okay, everyone. Is there anybody? Jay Bunny. Hi, Jay Bunny. Okay, $10. Let's see. Jay Bunny says, what are your thoughts about law of attraction to get an ex? Okay, got several. Okay, let me continue reading. I know you made a video of it, but I was wondering if you could share more info. Do you think there's an effective method to use? Thank you. Okay, now you understand I know absolutely nothing about the story of what happened, and so much of what I would say to you is contingent upon that information. I believe that the law of attraction with an ex, if they backpedaled from you, were uncertain, if they broke up with you, even if you broke up with them because you had to get away from them because it hurt so much, if they left you because they weren't interested, you weren't a priority, they didn't treat you well, they didn't want a relationship, it's not like you hurt them and you did something wrong for which you can apologize, make amends, and try to get back into their good graces and explain to them. If they left you the first time, you don't want them back. You don't. The law of attraction would say that you attract somebody that wants what you want and that sees you for who you are. I would go back to the drawing board and put in my generic order for universe, bring me somebody who can value me and see me for who I am, who wants a relationship with me, who is good to me and good for me. You show me who that person is. I'm ready. You do your job. I want to attract to me that thing. And by the way, could you do me a favor and show me whatever issues I have personally that make me think that I don't deserve that? Because if there's something I need to work on, I want to do that and quit blaming the partner that didn't show up. So that's how I would use the law of attraction. What I have suggested is that when you want to get an ex back, if you are emotionally investing in them, you're obsessing mentally, and you're attached to them, we have a fear of breaking and cutting that psychic cord. But this is a person that doesn't want us and doesn't know what to do with us. So the end result is the same. We don't have a great partner, but something for you to investigate just to see how it works is that when we eliminate us feeding them our life force of energy, and we force our minds to move on and live in the present moment instead of the loop of wanting them, what we suddenly come across is, oh my God, I haven't thought about them. I've thought about my life. I've thought about my future. I've placed my attention in the present. I'm living in the fullness of my expression. And now they text me? That's how they come back, when you're no longer feeding them. And it's a little bit more lengthy conversation. And I must tell you, so much of this is contingent upon exact information that I need to know, because if somebody tells me 40 minutes into our 45-minute session, oh, by the way, I'm married, I'm like, you, reset. Okay, you what? So these things are important, okay? In law of attraction, in the basic tenets of that philosophy, we ask for what we want or greater. And it has been very precise in all the writings that we detail, we outline the ideas, but we don't detail the person, the thing, because something greater may be coming in. So when you ask for this, you may say, for Josh, I want Josh to come back, or greater, whatever is in my highest good and their highest good. Okay? You don't lock onto somebody that's not for you and say, universe, I demand you give me this. That's not what the universe wants to give you. The universe wants to provide endless abundance, not nothing. Okay? So we need to release our will and open up to a greater will. Okay? And focus our energy that way. Jay Bunny, I hope that helps. Let's see, where are we now? Okay, guys, are there any more questions that you want me to answer for you? Okay, you're talking to each other. Okay, one of Nuther. Okay, if someone pursued you, then made a bunch of excuses of why they pulled away when you called them out on their lack of interest and commitment, how do we show them admit the truth? Okay, hang on just a minute. I'm sorry. If someone pursued you, then made a bunch of excuses for why they pulled away when you called them out on it, how do we have them admit the truth? I think you want them to admit what they did. They're not always going to do that. Listen, if they had been able to be so confident to be honest, they would have been honest the first time. We want to be very delicate with this calling out thing. It isn't to punish. I would urge you all to take the high road, to utilize tact and diplomacy. When we call somebody, I would prefer that. You're going to do your own style. Maybe it's much softer, maybe it's a little bit more pointed. It depends on the circumstances, because you know what they did and what they didn't do. So maybe they deserve a little like that. But the point is to just say that you notice it, and that because of that, you're making your exit. And you don't need to spank them any harder than that. Remember, the harder you rail, the more it shows that you were deeply wounded. So if you do have a little ego thing going on, just give them the facts, okay? Let's see, is there anybody else that I have to answer here? Hi, John, Mayville, how are you doing? Okay, everybody's talking to everybody, all right. Thank you, Susan, you left the On Read episode. I'm chatting with a French guy and it works. Okay. Oh, I called him out and he surprisingly answered back and even apologized, and he wants to continue chatting. Kyle, exitos, good for you. So also try to remember, we want to repeat our successes. So we want to practice success. When you find a language, a phrase, a tonality, and a vibe for what you're saying, and it's worked, put it in your toolbox. Remember that you did that. We want to remember our success because we're like, oh, that works. Okay. Anything else here? Hi, Susan. Vimj 14. Hi, Susan. When do you know it's the right time to make it official with someone and become a couple? Have you established sexual exclusivity? Does this person clearly know that you like them and they like you? Do you see them regularly? Are you in continual communication? Have you met each other's friends and family? If so, then proceed. Hi, okay, Alex Flips. Hey, how are you doing? 5 pounds. Thank you. Oh my God, you guys, thank you so much for this. This is so beautiful. What's the protocol when she has a boyfriend? What? I know you said to be warm, but it's a fine line between too warm, isn't it? Alex, what are we doing here? What? I gotta talk. We gotta talk in private here. What? I don't know. What's this in reference to? Is this somebody new you like and she's got a boyfriend? That's a no-go zone. That's a no-go zone. Unless you think she's on the outs and does she keep coming to you, confiding you, and oh, I don't like my boyfriend. I wish I could get rid of him. And then it goes like this. What should I do? Save me. I don't know the situation here, but we try not to pursue somebody who's actively in a relationship. How would you like it if they did it to your person? So, you got to know the scenario here. If they're begging you to come after them, again, I just wouldn't do it. I mean, listen, there are always extenuating circumstances. Maybe they're living together. Maybe they were trapped together in COVID. Maybe they're trying to get out of it. But if you've got an active partner and you're trying to be in there and do something with them, that's going to kind of be a mess for everybody. I suggest there are enough single people that would be interested. No, that's a better thing. Oh, SM, Susan, this is one of the best live sessions ever. Thank you. SM, why? Why is this the best one? I can't wait to hear. Okay, let's see. Anybody else? Alex Flips, ask her if she wants your number. If she says she has a boyfriend, tell her it's for you when you want. It's for when you want a husband. Oh, that's great. I like that. Listen, everything is you. Do you know what you're doing in all this, guys? This is not a useless exercise. Okay. All this stuff we do, all these massive conversations, all these 425 videos I do. This is just so you learn what you want. You learn how to communicate what you want. You learn how to identify someone who's got what you want. And you learn how to communicate and continue and establish a relationship with that person, and not just dating and capturing them. You learn how to keep your relationship alive and vibrant because you have the communication tools, because you start to watch the patterns. You see when something's going to happen, you anticipate it. You say, oh, I've seen this before. How else can I handle this? You make your partner conscious of what you can do together. You work as a team to develop better skills of making a more wonderful, rewarding, fabulous relationship. This is the work we're doing here. And if you've gone through a bunch of people and you're like, I'm exhausted, then take a break, relax, let it just filter in. And that's, then when you go back out, you're like, oh my God, where did you come from? Okay. So this is all, it's not for nothing. Okay. It's all building up. And I'm convinced that even online dating, as horrific as it is for most of us, online dating is simply a filtering mechanism that gets you so clear on what you want and don't want that you don't put up with anything else. Okay, let's see, what else do we have here? Thomas Sally. Thomas, hello, my dear. Okay, agreed not to keep in touch until she is ready to meet romantically. Yes. 2 weeks later, she reaches out being warm, but does not want to meet. Hello? Yes. And here's where you reiterate, as though she's got some kind of mental impairment. You say, great to hear from you. Love that. Fantastic. So for my part, love to see you when you know that you'd actually like to re-engage in this relationship. This is somebody that is working with their ex. Love to see you if you're interested in starting to date. What can I do for you? Put it back on her. Throw it back. Okay? Okay, everyone, I think we are just about done. I thank you so much. If any super chats come rolling in as I'm rolling out, I will address them immediately in cap letters, not because I'm screaming, but I'll put them into the live version of this when it comes up on the, oh God, you know what I'm saying, when it comes up in the video feed. So remember, any of you who want to attend my 2-hour class, I've never done this before. I know my stuff. I've just never done this format, and I'm kind of excited to do it. And I'm excited about the fact that they're running the board, Addicted to Success and Joel Brown, and they're going to pull you out and ask you questions, and I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to take you through every single step to get that person out of your head and gain your freedom, because it is a hands-on thing. I can do my best in an audio tape, and I can do my best, but it's when I can work with you, roll up my sleeves and work with you, get in there, that we can do our best work together. You guys, thank you very much. You are a fabulous audience. Thank you, everyone who did Super Chat. This is fantastic. I appreciate all of your commentary. I appreciate your support. I want to hear from you, where you want me to go. We have another, couple months of this, but where do we want to go after that? What's the next thing we want to talk about? Any big topics? Just a general AMA? Just Susan show up? What's going on? What would you like to see? Thank you very much. And all of you, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, please. I'd love that. And if you want to work with me personally, I'm at Magnifi by the minute, or you can sign up on the website, susanwinter.net, and get an individual session with me. Thank you. Oh, look at all the hearts. I love this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Okay, I'm going to type all the thank yous until it closes down. I hope you get them. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you next week. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.